Hello there friends, I'm Kendra Winchester and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about 2024. Dylan, let's see if I can... Dylan, we talked about this. No crunching. You can play with other toys that don't crunch. No crunching. Yeah, I make efforts. I get enough comments on my videos about what on earth is that crunching noise that I'm trying to make efforts to limit that. But yeah, that face, the face of disapproval. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking to you about my reading plans for 2024. This is my Hobonichi Techo Weeks. This is a Weeks Mega, so it has extra pages in the back. And this is what I'm going to be using to track my reading. And just as a disclaimer, I had terrible handwriting before the joints in my hands went to crap. So this is not like aspirational or inspiring design-wise, shall we say. It is something I do because I enjoy it, not necessarily because I'm good at it. So, for example, this is my overview of my reading page. It is color-coded with my different goals, and so I'm going to be going over those today and some of the other things that I want to challenge myself with in 2024. And then I will do more videos about like TBRs for each of these specific goals. I know. So my reading this year, my reading this year has been kind of rough. I read a lot for work, so I read about, I think, 60 books for work. So that's around half to like 40% of my reading for the year, and those are all new books. So I will always have space for new books in my reading plans. These plans are for like the other 50 to 60% of the books that I read. And yeah, I mean, I'll do like a, I guess, reading reflections video closer to the end of the year. But overall, I just have been disappointed in how few of the books that I've read that I really wanted to read for a long time. And I'm also disappointed in like being sick so much this year has meant that my brain power is like none. I have reread so many series this year that I already know the plot, so I don't get confused when my brain wanders, because I just really struggle with all of that. Okay, so today I'm going to be going over the different categories that I would like to read more from, and then I will like to go over some of the authors I would like to read more from, particularly since I keep collecting these authors' books, and I've only read one book by these authors, or maybe I've read a few. Why are they on this list, and will I actually get to them in 2024? Those are the big questions for that section. And then I also have a backlist reading challenge that I'm going to be doing for myself for 2024. So we're going to go over all this, and then later I will post videos that go into more details about why these different things are on the list, and show you some of the TBRs I have planned for them, and just all sorts of reading plans. I think I'll also probably end up doing a video about my reading year as a whole and why I decided to do some more challenging things for 2024, and kind of like what that process looked like. But today we're just doing an overview. So yes. All right. Gwen, do you want in your chair? Okay. Let me move that. There you go. Is that good? Okay. This is life with corgis. My life is not about me. It is about serving them. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's start with the big categories. So the big categories for me are disability literature, indigenous lit, books in translation, poetry, books on writing or books in the genre that my manuscript that I'm working on is in, Appalachian literature, food and cuisine, books from 2020 through 2023, and backlist books. So why are these categories on the list? Well, some of them relate to my identity. So I'm a disabled Appalachian person, and so I always like to read more from those categories. And I'm also editing an anthology of disabled Appalachian writers, and that's what I'm working on right now. I want to read books in translation because that's always on my list. I'm always trying to read more books in translation. And I have a whole like little shelf. And oftentimes I make the mistake of waiting until Women in Translation Month to read them. I really just need to incorporate them into my reading all year round. So that is really the focus, I guess, for this year for books in translation. Poetry, always on the list. That one's probably the most difficult because since I cannot read text anymore at all, I can only listen. Not a lot of poetry collections are on audio, which is unfortunate. But I will still persevere because I have a pretty large poetry TBR happening right now. Food and cuisine, I'm always reading more about food and cuisine. I'm on a very strict medical diet, and one of the ways that I kind of keep my mental health in a positive space in regard to only being able to eat a very limited amount of food at a time is by just cooking the best food that I can. So even though I can only eat a small amount of it at a time, it's still amazing. And that's really a way that's been very healthy for me. I became gluten-free back in 2004, I think. So we're almost at 20 years, almost. It happened, I got the diagnosis for food allergies between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So wonderful freshman year of high school, let me tell you. And then I really want to catch up on books from 2020 through 2023. My mental health and everything has been in the dumpster since the pandemic, understandably. So I really feel like I missed out on some great books. So I've held on to a lot of them. And so I want to get through some of them. And then the last one is backlist. So I'm counting backlist books from 2019 to earlier, like earlier. So I am going to be doing a challenge for that. And that's something I'm going to tell you at the very end of the video because that's going to be very exciting. So I've told you a little bit about the categories, and so I also have some ideas for some authors I would like to catch up on their backlist books. So this is one part of the backlist, I guess. So one is like looking at different authors, and oftentimes if I love a book, I will buy that author's whole collection, especially like if they have matching covers. I am a sucker for a matching cover. Yeah. So I have, as books, authors, I like to catch up on their backlist. My primary options are Sarah Waters, Maggie O'Farrell, Miriam Taves, Ron Rash. I have Barbara Kingsolver on here. I have Jhumpa Lahiri and Toni Morrison on here. James Baldwin, Louise Erdrich, William Faulkner. I've never actually read William Faulkner or Steinbeck, so they're on here. Jeanette Winterson has a lot of books I haven't read yet. Ali Smith, there's only a couple. No, I lied. There's several. There's several I haven't read, actually. And what I do is I write them out and by publication date, because I usually like to start with the earliest and see the author's writing progress over the course of time because I'm a nerd. So there are all sorts of authors like that where I own a lot of their books and I would like to actually read them. So that's part of the backlist category. Yeah, I keep thinking about like, Gwenlyan, would you like to tell us more? Anyway, so those are like the backlist authors that I would like to read more from. I remember reading Miriam Taves. I've read a few books of hers. Jeanette Winterson, I've read several of hers. Ali Smith, I've read a lot from. But Toni Morrison, I was working on in publication order, listening through all the audiobooks of her books, because again, I can't read text, but I got stuck. I think that's on Paradise. There isn't an unabridged version. She was actually going through and re-recording her audiobooks in unabridged versions, and she was reading them, but she did not make it to Paradise yet. So that is really sad. I hope that maybe one day there is an audiobook. I might just end up skipping Paradise and just going as far as I can with the audiobooks I have. I own several of her books. There's a few I'm missing. But yeah, so we will see what happens with that. I've never even read James Baldwin, any book length things of his. I've only read essays, so I really should probably get on that. So that's kind of how I feel about different authors. There's a lot of I don't know, there's also like a lot of classics I'd love to read, but like I don't know, I'm not sure I'll have time. So yeah, I feel like backlist, there are so many great books that I've just missed and not had the time to read. And so I just want to make sure that I have the time to read those books. So I decided to go to my TBR shelves, where sort of what Gwen is leaning on, and to pull out 24 books from the backlist, so before 2019, and to pull 24 of those and then wrap them up. And then I pick 2 at random, and I need to read 2 of those books, those 2 books, by the end of the month, or I have to get rid of them. And it's just sort of like loosely inspired by books in Lala, but she is much more intense and much better at editing than I am. So, you know, her closet unhaul, go watch it first off. I will link it down in the description box. But I wanted to do that with these 24 books because I've had them. Some of them are really old. Some of them I went to great lengths to find hardback originals, and I've never even read them. So that will be a separate video, and I'll go through all of those books, why those books are on there, why I'm excited about them, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, that's really where my reading challenges and goals are for the year. I always set 120 as the number of books, but that's just 10 on average per month. There are a lot of books that I read for work and I don't enjoy them. But most of the time when I pick up a book for my personal reading, I'm so particular that I usually at least give the book a three-star situation. I DNF sometimes, but I don't know. I'm just very particular. And if a book, you know, doesn't catch my attention in the first like 15 minutes of the audiobook, I just DNF it. I don't even put it on my currently reading on Storygraph or Goodreads. Like I just DNF it and we move on, you know? So I don't know. But those are like the general ideas. Let me know about your goals. Is there anything about my reading this year that you would like me to talk about later? I have a whole host of things planned for the end of the year. I sat down and made my entire end of the year booktube schedule last night. That was fun. I enjoy schedules, so you know. Anyway, let's see. I think that's it for now. I'm going to be doing a reflection on the reading year for 2023 at the end of the year, but I wanted to give you some general goals because from now until the end of the year, I'll be giving you kind of breakdowns of each goal and what I want to do with those, and they'll be in a whole little playlist for you to watch and all sorts of things. But these are the general categories I want to read more from. Yeah, tell me your thoughts, feelings. Are there other things that you think I should add? Are there other things you're not sure why I even want to read them? I don't know. Tell me all of the things, and I guess I'll talk to you in the next one. Say bye, Gwen.